you would be able to receive absolutely everything that God has for you, leaving no stone unturned. Because you might have had experiences where people assumed they knew it all. They were arrogant. And I understand that being in a position of leadership, the last thing I want to do is burn bridges. The actual goal here is to create healing, is to create peace, is to even maybe expose some of the areas that we had these blocks and learn to overcome them together. That's going to be one of the biggest things that the devil's going to try to entice you to do, is believing that there's a hierarchy in terms of our pride and our walls, saying I can receive from you and I can receive from you, but because you're younger or because you look this way or because your personality rubs me, then I can't receive from you.
You like this, you like being daddy's arms with microphones. You like being a worker. You're made for the camera. Both my boys are.
Hey, this video you are about to watch is a part of a series where I show you how to quit porn the right way. So do yourself a favor, binge on all of this content, all the videos that you possibly can, because who knows, maybe if the value and the trust is built together over this journey, you'll want to jump into a community that I call Fit for Family. Or maybe you think these videos suck, and that's also fair too. But nonetheless, there's only one way for us to find out. So enough of me, let's get back to serving you and let's get back to the video. Hey guys, one of my biggest goals for you in this process and on this journey together is that you just receive as much as humanly possible. Now, I get it. In a day and an age, in a world where we're told constantly what to do, we're told what to think, we're told how to think, everyone's got an answer for everything, or when it comes to quitting porn, we've all been at the mercy of everybody's opinion. My goal here is not to tell you what to think and tell you what to do, but my goal is actually to coach you, educate, and cheer you on into learning how to think about this problem for yourself and as it pertains into your own life. And so, although I might be wildly younger than you, I do believe there can be something to receive, because one of the things that you unlock with God in the kingdom of God is when you enter in with a heart posture of humility. So even for me right now, as I share all these things, you might hear me get passionate or excitable or persuasive with some ideas that I'm bringing around, because my heart is to really just serve you at the highest level. And I want to utilize those traits, utilize those qualities that God has given me just to serve you at my maximum capacity. I'm not coming here thinking that I know it all, and I'm not coming in as the authority figure saying, hey, I'm right, you're wrong, listen up, because it doesn't matter. Even though I've been 11 years porn free, even though I've coached hundreds of guys now personally over the past few years into being fully free from this addiction, and I've learned a little bit along the way, I know that for me, the last thing I want is to believe that I've arrived, is to believe that I'm not coachable, I'm not teachable, that I can't be corrected, that I can't improve on things. I actually think that if you want to grow massively, if you're like, Matt, my hand is up, I want to expedite my growth massively in the kingdom with the Father, I would say one of these things is going to be your capacity and your ability to receive from anyone. Now, what our false self would love to do, what the devil would love to have us be enticed to doing, is to operate from a place of ego, operate from a place of walls and pride and a sense of, I know better, I can do this. Because to be honest, I'm just going to put my hands up here. I'll be vulnerable. Again, if I want you to step into vulnerability, to break a lot of chains, break a lot of things off your life, I want to hopefully model it first. Because again, I want to come beside you as a brother, walking with you, cheering you on in the thick of it. Because at the end of the day, I'm still a human as well. I have emotions, I have fears, I have insecurities, much of the same way we all do. But one of the biggest things that I've learned and that I had to get coached and educated into is I assumed that if I received from people, it meant that I was dumb. It triggered me to thinking that I'm inferior, I'm incapable, I'm incompetent, or I'm inadequate. And one of my coaches, or pastors actually in life, I remember she pulled me aside, and I had a very difficult time receiving from a mentor of mine. He was assigned to me when I was in ministry school, and he was like a few months older than me. He was like technically a year older, but it was by a few months. And it frustrated me because he was really stepping into his authority. He was stepping in with leadership. And it triggered me because I'm like, you're only a few months older. Like, do you really know that much more about God and about life that you can provide for me? Seriously? And I remember my pastor, she pulled me aside one day and she said, Matt, God has got really, really big things on your life. And she said, he actually has such a big calling, such an amount of gifting within you. She was like, I would hate for you to limit yourself to hearing him speak. And I said, how do you mean? And she said, here's the deal. She said, you're going to be leading people to the Lord. And she started prophesying. It was beautiful. It was poetic. And she said, but you're going to lead someone to Jesus, and they're going to teach you something about God. They're going to teach you something about the nature of God, the face of God, that you couldn't have possibly known because of their background, their history, their experience, their context that you have never known. And then all of a sudden, when they encounter the Lord through you, it's going to piece so many things together, and you're actually going to know Jesus more through people that have never even had a walk with him that they're aware of. And she's like, and so God also wants to teach you through sidewalks, through the trees, and through other mediums if you would allow yourself to receive. And she said, that's going to be one of the biggest things that the devil's going to try to entice you to do, is believing that there's a hierarchy in terms of our pride and our walls, saying, I can receive from you and I can receive from you. But because you're younger, or because you look this way, or because your personality rubs me in a way that triggers me and, ruffles my feathers, then I can't receive from you. And so I get it. I know that, I'm a young dude. I'm not like 60. I'm not like, a wise old sage or monk that makes it look like it's all. I'm just a regular, normal dude. We might be positioned to think, hey, what's this guy have to serve me? Maybe he's got nothing to serve me at all. And what I would like to say is that wisdom has very little to do with someone's age. But wisdom, on the contrary, has everything to do with the Spirit of God inside of a man. And so although I either may be younger or might be a lot older, than what you are at right now, it all just depends. What I want to convey here is that I am the summation of the access that I have had to chronic therapy, counseling, mentorship, pastoral care, ministry, leaders, mentors, guides, people all around, people with degrees, people without degrees, people that are young and people that are old. I've been taught by children. I get taught by my kids. And for me, I want to protect your heart. I want to protect your opportunity for God to really speak, really, really speak. And so my biggest prayer or hope for you inside of this module right now is that you would be able to receive absolutely everything that God has for you, leaving no stone unturned. And this might honestly bring up some questions for you to reflect on right now about authority, about leadership, about people speaking into your process, because you might have had experiences where people assumed they knew it all. They were arrogant. And I understand that being in a position of leadership, the last thing I want to do is burn bridges and create more rifts or chasms. My actual goal here is to create healing, is to create peace, is to even maybe expose some of the areas that we had these blocks and learn to overcome them together. So again, that's my biggest prayer for you inside of this process right now, is that you would just be able to receive, come with humility, come maybe not assuming that you know everything, but say, hey, I likely have things to learn. I remember listening to some people and being like, dang, they screwed up there. Did you see how bad they did that thing? Be like, man, this person's not a good speaker. And I would just be judgmental. I would be pulling apart all things. Maybe you hate my plants, that I got. Maybe you don't like my shirt. I don't know. Maybe you don't like the fact that I don't have a full beard. I don't know. All I'm saying is I know what it's like to think that way. And I definitely remember a time where I turned to somebody and I was super judgmental of the speaker on stage for this conference at church that we were listening to. And I didn't mean ill by it. I just had a negatively programmed mind to always see the bad in life. And I look at this pastor friend of mine, we're on the front row, and I was just like, gonna say this to him. Like, look at all the ways that he's failing. I'm like, dude, this guy is an elite pastor. He's such a good communicator. Like, he obviously knows this guy is just not doing so great. I'm really curious his thoughts. And I was like, finally, I'm going to get a sense of just realness from him. And the pastor turns to me as a mid-thought about this process, and he says, man, isn't the way that this speaker, that he's pausing in between his sentences and the way he's holding his microphone, doesn't it just bring so much clarity to the scriptures for you? And I was just mind blown. I was like, man, this guy can receive from a rock. You know, this guy could receive from a centipede or a moth on the ground. And I loved his humility for that because he was growing and I was not. I was pessimistic and he was optimistic. And I believe that he had the heart of God in mind even more so. So although the form might not be something to the natural eye that you think you could receive from, my biggest, again, prayer and goal for you here is to go on even a self-discovery process within yourself. Even now, even after this video, think, journal, process, dialogue with your group about it, and see within yourself, be like, hey, is there any blocks that are preventing me from receiving absolutely everything that God has for me? Not just in this process, but even in life. Because again, my goal is to set you up with keys, with foundations, with principles that have been working for me. Again, I'm not telling you that I have all the answers. There may be things here that are subject to some opinion or subject to personal preference, and I'll be clear to voice those. And my goal is to be as well-rounded as possible, to be absolutely as unbiased as I can, while being coachable and teachable myself with a heart of humility, just to be here and just to serve you, and saying I'm not here because I think I got it all right. I'm here because I've been porn-free 11 years. I have a heart to serve. I've coached quite a few guys in the process, and I'd love to communicate what I know that's been supportive for me and for all the guys that I've been serving and helping. And I'd love to see how that could create supportive structures within your heart, within your mind, within your life, so you can move on towards greater connection with God, your world, your family, and the people that you belong to. So let's keep diving in here. I love you tons, and I'll see you on the next one.
Hey guys, my name is Lucas, and I'm from South Carolina, and I want to share with you why the Untamed Academy has really changed my life. So at first, like many people, I was skeptical about getting involved with this group because I didn't think that you could be free from porn. I've tried for many years with different groups, apps, just trying to stay away and stop watching porn, but it always led back to the same results. So at first I was skeptical about joining this group. Well, on my journey, it's really helped me a ton. Really dive deep into the emotions and the mindsets that I was holding on to for a long time. I had to understand that porn wasn't the main problem. It was actually a problem in my heart, and a problem in the things I was thinking about, my belief systems. And that was actually the things holding me back. And I had to uncover those uncomfortable feelings and mindsets and really get to the bottom of that. And at the moment, I feel free from porn. I feel free from going back, and I'm not afraid now. I know that I'm actually free, and the reason is because I know that if urges come up, I know how to deal with them now. I know that it's because of needs that I need to meet in my life. There's things that I need to do in order for those urges to be met. For example, boredom or excitement. And instead of going to porn, I can go to my friend's house, or I can do something exciting. And I would recommend this to any young man who thinks that they've given up, and that there's no hope. There is hope for sure in this course, and I guarantee that if you continue and do all the work, you will definitely 100% see results. All right, guys, peace.
Hey, real quick, if you like that video that you just saw, or if you want to see even better videos than this in a series that I made called Annihilate Porn to help guys or girls like you quit porn, you can subscribe, hit the notification bell so you don't forget any alerts, comment, like, all that jazz, and more importantly, check out the next video that's going to take you even further on the journey from where you are to where you want to be. I love you tons. I'll catch you in the next one.